You are so much more than your ancestors even hoped for. You have continued to demonstrate bravery, the ability to break out of societal expectations. You've been a risk taker and you have been a rule breaker. You might have been labeled rebellious, um, among other things. You could have also been labeled as a behavioral problem, uh, troublemaker, black sheep, and yet you are the game changer. You are what's needed right now in this society, right now. Do not doubt that. All of these labels that have been placed on you to make you second guess your power are just that. They're literally binding and imprisonment of something that doesn't want you to expand. Now, the good news is what doesn't want you to expand is not that powerful unless you believe in it, unless you give it, unless you empower it essentially to disempower you. That's what so many folks don't understand when they're really wrapped up in protection. And not that there's anything wrong with protecting yourself and protection prayers. And I was just talking about this with a friend yesterday, and we were having this strong sense of agreement that where does it come from? Our intuition. We just know deep down in our hearts that the forces that attempt to bind us and limit us and brainwash us into thinking that we're not enough, or we're doing something that's going against the status quo, goddess forbid, we were both agreeing. And actually, I think my friend said it first, but she was just reinforcing what I believe as well, is that the only way that these powers have any effect is if we give it to them. And you don't have to. And so why am I saying this? Is a lot of people will be drawn to this message or this energy based on who they are. And you'll know if it resonates with you. You'll know if you felt your entire life that you were told that you didn't fit in and that you were wrong and that, you weren't measuring up. And deep down inside, you always knew that you had something incredible to offer to this world and to this life. You always knew that. And that, to me, is something that can lead to so much depression for folks because their intuition is telling them, right, that they have something magical to offer. And yet they're getting so many external messages from the 3D world telling them otherwise. And it creates this dissonance in your mind that can be so debilitating. It can lead to so many disappointments. And we're in a time energetically that is incredibly supportive around those of us who have been given these messages our whole life. Maybe we've been labeled as neurodivergent. Maybe we've been labeled as having a learning disability. On the other hand, we could be labeled as gifted, which sometimes can be just as much of a curse in terms of the way the systems worked with us. They usually didn't understand us. And the reason is they didn't have the capacity to hold us. Okay, but now, in this time that definitely appears, like a time of upheaval and a time of chaos, but there's so much more to it. It is also a time of opening. It is a time where folks like us, folks like this, get to really come into their gifts and share their gifts and finally understand what all that static was about before, right? All the things that they grew up with, all the messages they grew up with, all the alienation, all the feelings that they didn't belong, all the feelings that they didn't fit in, they all, these experiences all had their reasons. They were kind of like boot camp or training for what is happening now. So if you resonate with this, I implore you to be encouraged that this is your time. This is our time to come forward and share what we've always known was so important. And I can't tell you what that is because that's within you. But part of why I've designed this channel is to help you uncover and remember these incredible, unique, specific, inherent gifts that you have, that society has told you to lock away. Society has told you it's not okay and like suppress it, repress it. And I'll tell you one thing, one GPS system that we have built in are our emotions. Our emotions, once we learn how to ride the wave and like work with them, give us so many clues about this. And of course, the sacred technology of our body and the intuition and how that feels in our body. And you know what? This is just the first of many channeled messages where I aim to assist in awakening this collective to understand what they are here to do and what they are meant to do. And I'm so excited. And I didn't even plan to talk about this, to be honest with you. I had another message completely that I was going to talk about that was a lot more cerebral, but this just came in. And like, that's part of what's going to happen on this channel too, is that sometimes a channeled message will just come through. So I'm hoping that this resonated. And if so, just stay tuned because there's so much more to come in this vein and many others, because we don't always know what spirit has in store for us. We don't always know what galactic energies and downloads are going to incorporate. And so let's see, it's going to be fun.